Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Stachura, bassist for the band Pain of Truth. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated Crew? Today I've got Zach from a band that you've probably heard of, Pain of Truth. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. This is my first cup of coffee of the day, so I'm a happy camper.
Yeah.
It's also sunny but cold. I don't like that shit.
Yeah, you guys stay cold up there, I feel like.
Man, I got cold as life going on. I'm just always cold. And I'm not even from here. Like, I'm from the South, so.
Where in the South are you from?
Savannah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, it was an adjustment, but it's all good, you know.
Yeah.
I live the cold life. But you got some coffee going on?
I do got some coffee going on. It's nothing special. My friend Dre put me on to this just cold brew you could buy at the store called Busy. I don't know. Do you guys have that up there?
Nah, but we don't have a lot of shit, so
yeah,
we're struggling.
It's just like, I don't even know, a bunch of caffeine. I mean, that's like what it's branded as, is just having a bunch of caffeine in it. Mm-hmm. So we got a bunch of it for the road last time, and it's kind of what I'm tapping into right now. I'm more focused on the like caffeine content than the flavor a lot of times, which could go either way.
Right. I'm familiar with like Stoke. And then we've got some local brands up here, but most of it is like the Stoke stuff. We get everything 5 years after it's been out and like double tested by whatever the Canadian FDA is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, who knows what's even in here, man. I could be like growing a third eye or something next year.
Better a third eye than a third something else. You know? I've got actually, there's a shop like a few blocks down the street from my house that I like. There's a few around me, but the best one is a little bit of a walk. And they got a roaster from Calgary in called Rogue Wave, which I really like. And this is a coffee from Myanmar.
Damn.
Like, I've never had that. So I was like, oh, shit, well, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's peach, guava, grapefruit, like a bunch of fruity notes. Really good.
Okay.
I didn't know they'd be growing coffee in Myanmar.
How is it?
Dude, it's actually I like this roaster a lot. Like
Okay.
Rogue Wave, they're super sick, and they always do they try really hard to get like interesting coffees. Mm-hmm. So I'm a fan. Everything else I've had from them is sick, and it can be expensive because it's coming over here from Calgary, and it's usually at like a bougie shop. But I like their shit a lot. Them and Hatch. Hatch is really good too. It's from. I'm going to fuck it up. It's from somewhere in Ontario. I'm not going to say a city just because I don't want somebody to get all butthurt about it. But yeah, I wish we get Say up here.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, I love Say. And then that's pretty much the only fucking New York like coffee roaster from your area that we ever get. And I've only tried Say here, like in a box.
Oh, you haven't like been?
Nah, I haven't been in New York in the longest, honestly.
Yeah, you gotta tap in, man. There's a bunch of good coffee, obviously, but Say was like the staple for years.
Have you had La Cabra?
Oh yeah.
That is so I went to the OG one.
Where's the OG one?
In Aarhus, Denmark.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a bucket list trip, and that is the best coffee experience I've ever had.
Is it? I wonder how it compares, like the shop itself to the one in New York, because that's like the spot right now everyone's going to. And I went, and it was like, it just seemed so. I'm like a good like blend of like, yeah, I want a good cup of coffee if I can get it. I'm not going crazy out of my way if I could get something that's gonna be decent, you know?
Right.
I mean, like, I don't want to just drink some watered down cold brew, but I'm not like, I have to travel for an hour to get something good. If I can make it work, I'll make it work. But that's a spot where I went in and it was just like, my friend's like, you got to try this spot. It's going to be so good. And it was good, but like the vibe in there was crazy. It just felt like I like didn't belong there. It was like too nice for a coffee spot. Mm-hmm. And it felt like kind of like everyone was like up their own ass when I was there. And I was like, kind of just want to get my coffee and get the fuck out.
You just got to own it. You just got to be like, I belong here. Like, fuck all y'all. Like, like when I went to the one in Aarhus, it was like, you know, outside is a bunch of like really vanilla Danish people, like with their nice coffees and pastries and everything. And I walk in with like a Marauder shirt on, like with my wife, and I'm like, yeah, let me get like the most expensive, or not most expensive, but like the pour overs are fucking expensive. Yeah. Like it was crazy. And like, let me try the cheesecake. Let me do this. Like I ordered like a lot of shit. And then I'm like getting a bag of coffee, of course. And so like, I basically was like trying to make it, you make your space, you know, you just fucking, it's like moshing. You make your space.
Yeah, I felt like I was like the one that I went to, I think it was like a newer location in Brooklyn or something, but it was, it felt like I was like in a library and I was like with the guys and we were catching up and I could just feel people like looking at me and
dream shop. Make it look like a library, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, have you been to Devoción? Was that around when you were in
New York? But Adam from Orthodox, or no, you know who it was? It was Harold told me about Devoción. Like
Harold from Koyo?
Yeah, like years ago.
Bro.
And I haven't been back. Like I've been trying to like either go for some reason or like book a show. Yeah. It's just traveling to New York is so expensive, like to stay there.
Yeah, everything about New York is expensive to live there. I mean, so Harold and I were roommates for years in New York, which was a great time. It was like during COVID. It was right when Koyo started recording stuff, right when Paint a Truce started recording stuff, like literally like in sync. Just like a really cool era. But that is a coffee guy for sure in New York. And actually, that's who put me onto La Cabra.
Really?
I gotta put some respect on. Yeah.
It was around that time that I talked to him. I can't remember if it was him or somebody related, but they were like La Cabra is like the big one now. And so I think I like was gonna go on vacation to Denmark last year. I was like, well, we gotta go to La Cabra. Like it's a 3-hour train ride. Let's do it.
Damn. The pilgrimage, man. That's crazy.
It definitely was a pilgrimage. My eyes were awakened to the truth. I also went to Tim Wendelbo in Oslo, which is like a really hyped coffee roaster right now, but that shit was truly good. It's just not as library-esque.
Yeah, damn. I mean, these are things I should know. I feel like on tour, it's like you get to the city. I don't know. You feel like you go everywhere. Mm-hmm. Tell people you're like, I was just here, and they're like, wow, that's so crazy. What's it like? And you're like, honestly, I don't know. I like went there and I played a show and I got back in the van and I left.
So it's like the inside of a venue.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Luckily, like, I mean, if you get lucky, there's like a dope restaurant that you find on Google Maps or something. But it's usually like the second time you go back where you're like, all right, let me venture out. I've been here. I know kind of the lay of the land. Like, let me see what's good.
So what you're saying is that when you get big enough to have a driver, that, you know, you sleep all night in the bandwagon, get out, and then you can explore, right?
Yeah. I've only had that experience once on that last run, which was awesome. But yeah, we were spoiled on that one. I don't know if it'll happen again, but really enjoyed it that last one.
Man, it's like getting a bandwagon is so like not punk. But like as a 30-year-old, the idea of having that makes me like, it's like, well, you know, I can be like a little less punk if it means that I get to sleep well. Yeah.
That was this last one we did. It was the Counterparts tour, and that was like, I mean, it was 6 weeks. So it was the longest tour we have ever done straight. We've done a couple back-to-backs, like been home a couple days and hopped right back out on the road. But that was the first one in 6 weeks, and some of the drives were just like I mean, 14, 15-hour drives to the night, and we were like, hey, for like all of our sanity, like let's do it. And yeah, now we're just like, god damn it, we shouldn't have experienced that level of joy and bliss on tour, because it's gonna be rough. And now, back to the van life, which
Yeah.
I don't know, we've done for I mean, our bands before, so
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll settle right back into that.
Are y'all still in the econo line, or are y'all doing the newer version with like the fucked up seats?
Oh, dude, now we got the passenger van that like
The 15 passenger bench.
oh yeah, man. Yeah, we went right back. We did this tour with A Day to Remember. I think it was like last year. 4 Year Strong, Story So Far. Awesome people. But it was so funny because everyone showed up in like bandwagons or just like straight up tour buses. And it was an arena tour, and every day when we have to go through security, we drive like the van up with the trailer, and every single day security was like, yeah, parking's like over there. And we're like, no, we're playing the show. And then they made us take out the laminates. Like, it was just like they didn't believe like we were just trying to sneak in.
Yeah, that's how I remember like Omerta was on that Dying Fetus. No, it was the Knocked Loose Dying Fetus run. Like they played a few shows, and they played at the venue that's kind of like by my house. And I remember like walking by and just seeing like, fucking tour bus, bandwagon in like the loading bay. And then you just have a 15 passenger with a trailer. Yeah. I was like, oh man, that's so cute.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's things you like more about it. I mean, it could go either way. It's a nice thing about the van is you can stop whenever you want and pull off and do like cool shit. You got an off day, you're figuring out what you want to do. I do just love being able to like have my own little space, on the bandwagon. But I don't know, 15 passenger van, and it's just usually 5 of us who tour, so we each kind of get a bench. It works out.
With the trailer, I feel like it's so much better because you do get every bench, Like you can go front to back. You got that little like bitch bed area in front of the front bench. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We make it work. Whatever we have to do, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's just how it is. Before I move off of coffee, let me know what's the best Long Island shop and what's the coffee order. What are you getting?
So I've just recently, like very recently, moved to Long Island. I wouldn't even know. I think I've had like 1 cup of coffee here, and it's been fine. I lived in the city or in Brooklyn, whatever, for like 6.5 years. So I'm trying to think, like, I really do love Devoción.
Okay.
I think Say is probably what everyone, I don't know, it's kind of the gimme out there. The Cabra was good.
It's expensive, but it's good. You have to give it that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Devoción's cool because they only do Colombian coffee. I think that's
oh shit, cool I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I know that, and I've never fucking been there, but I guess I've done enough like reading on it.
Yeah.
Was Dayglow is also in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. That's actually that's where I met Alec at.
Yeah.
Oh, he told you, he gave you the lore.
So Alec used to be in my band.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah. And then he like Clone started getting bigger, so then he had to tap out.
Yeah.
But he was every time he had to come back, he'd be like, Dayglow, we got to go to Dayglow. I'm like, all right, dude, we'll go to Dayglow. Fuck.
Yeah.
But is it like newer?
It's newer by us. Like I think we probably just got it within the last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a cold brew guy?
Pretty much exclusively, man.
Damn.
Year round, black cold brew. That's kind of the move. That's also probably why I'm just like, I know what good coffee is. I know what bad coffee is, but I'm not tasting notes or anything. I'm like,
you just caffeine.
Yeah. Like I'm like, yo, I get, Say is good. I know Dayglow is good. The Cabra's good. Like I can tell, right? But I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not a truther.
Let me so I'll give you a hack, right?
Okay.
If you got some extra time one day and you go to like Say or even La Cabra, get an iced pour over.
Okay.
So it's like cold brew, but with the heat, you get like more of the fruity like notes in the coffee.
Yeah.
It might awaken something within you.
All right. Yeah.
It might force you to join the church of
Yeah.
coffee notes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go on the coffee expeditions. I looked at some of your guests, and I've been on some coffee expeditions with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also a guy who like, especially on the road, if I wake up and like there's no coffee, I'm like, yeah, just give me a fucking Celsius, man. Like, let's run it. Like,
you got to do what you got to do at an extent. Like,
yeah.
Especially if you're in like a fucking Midwest city with nothing, you know?
Yeah.
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'm trying to think of recently where I've been where there was just nothing. Oh, I was in Ontario recently, and literally for like an hour in every direction, there was no coffee shop besides like Tim Hortons, which sometimes you got to get the Tim Hortons cold brew and suck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there. Trust me, I've been there, man. It's just like sometimes I just like start my day. I mean, preferably, I want to start my day with a cup of coffee. But if I have to suffer and get like McDonald's, I mean, I gotta get it. It's because that's the coffee I'm starting my day with. I'll figure out the rest later, you know.
It's underrated, honestly.
From there.
The McDonald's cold brew is pretty good.
It's fine. It'll do the job.
It's not the worst cold brew I've ever had. I'll say
What's
it like that.
What's the worst cold brew you've ever had?
Yo, so another shout out to Alec. We were like in the middle of New Brunswick at one point.
Okay.
And we like woke up, had to drive the rest of the way to Nova Scotia, and like 30 minutes down the road, there's this coffee shop, and he's like, we got to go. They got cold brew. I saw it. They got cold brew. We got to go to this shop. And he wouldn't shut up. And I was like, dude, let's go another 20 minutes to Fredericton. I know that there's a really good coffee shop there, and they're going to have everything that you need. He's like, no, I need it like now. We got to stop. So we go to this like coffee shop in the middle of nowhere, and I seldom throw out an entire cup of coffee. And it wasn't cheap either. Like, it was like $7 for this stupid cold brew drink.
Wow.
And I had to throw it out. I took 3 sips, and I was like, there's no way I can drink this. Then we ended up stopping at that coffee spot in Fredericton anyway. So
yeah,
but I was a little peeved because Alec's a coffee guy.
Oh yeah,
he's a coffee guy. He buys coffee from me. We chat. I try to put him on the right direction away from just cold brew, but
yeah,
he's stubborn. But yeah, I was a little upset with him.
I mean, that's like us in Europe, because it's just like Americanos or espresso.
Oh.
And so shout out Lumpy from Days and Sanction and a bunch of fucking badass bands. But he's a big coffee guy, 2 always down for the journey. So we did a tour in Europe, and it was like 5 different bands on a bus. It was awesome. But every day we'd wake up and he's just like, okay, there's cold brew. It's like 20 minutes away, and we'd all hop on Lime scooters on this like epic quest for cold brew, and we'd show up like 15 or 20 deep. Americans, they weren't happy about it, but we definitely all got cold brew.
Dude, that scenario, I feel like the European mind cannot comprehend. Like 15 like Americans, most of which are from like probably New England or East Coast, just being like, let me get a cold brew. And they're like, whatever language that they're in, they're like, we don't get a lot of tourists in here.
Yes. Yeah. I can't say they were hyped about it, or anybody sitting outside, or anybody in the cafe, or I don't know.
Well, because y'all are hyped. Yeah, y'all are in Europe. You're on tour. There's, Americans are loud. It's just how we're built, So
yeah, I didn't really realize that. Like, I knew that was a stereotype, but my parents live in Dublin right now, so I was in Dublin, and I was hanging out with Marty from High Vis. Shout out High Vis. Shout out Marty. Went to a show out there with him, went to like a bar after to hang out, and it's just a bar, bro. I don't drink. I was just hanging out, and I just heard like he's like, "Yo, that's one of yours over there," and I like isolated the sound, and it was just some loud, annoying American person just trying so hard to get with a group of women, like Irish women. I was just like, yeah, okay, I get it now. I get it why you guys don't love us.
Yeah. I mean, so my wife and I travel. My wife is from Mexico, and so she like would joke around all the time when we were dating and stuff. I was like, I really don't think we're that loud. And then when we started traveling a lot after we got married, it's like, oh yeah, like we really are the loudest. Like you can hear that shit. And in Montreal, it's even more because people here are pretty quiet, like day to day. And then if you're in a touristy area, you immediately can clock it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny. The stereotype makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I feel like we've been places too where we see the stereotype and we're never like hyped like, oh, another American. Like we were in Japan and I feel like every person we saw knew we were American. We're like, yo, fuck that guy. Get that guy out of here. He's ruining this for us. Like literally we're doing the exact same thing.
Man, I've heard that it's rough. Like some like Japanese people don't like tourists that much now because of the oversaturation of it.
Dude, I don't blame them at all, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were over there and like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel like people probably just go over there for vacation and they just treat it like any other country. They probably just don't put the respect on it. Because Potato Church loves Japan. Like, so my favorite shows, my favorite tour was when we did Japan. Like, and I don't know. I feel like we looked at the whole world differently after we were there.
What was like the most cultural shock that you experienced?
While in Japan or just in general? Like,
I mean, Japan would be. I mean, I feel like Japan is pretty opposite. But if you have another one that comes to mind,
I mean, I think that was it. Japan, just like, especially like the people we were with. Shout out like Makoto and Hideta and Koba, Yo-Yo, everyone we met out there. They just show you so much respect that you want to show them that much respect. So, even I remember this was like hilarious because I don't know, maybe not the best thing in the world, but it's like, we don't really care about like trash in America. It's like, fuck, get all the shit out of the van, whatever, wherever it lands, I don't care. Dude, in Japan, they don't really have a lot of like public trash cans. Mm-hmm. Dude, we were carrying around trash like all day. Like if we would like drink something, whatever, we would just like hold on to it all day. And then if we see trash on the street, I just noticed we were all picking up other people's trash. And we're just like, what's happened to us, man? What's happened to us? I think that's pretty crazy. Show wise, I mean, every single band we played with was amazing. Like openers, musically amazing. Best mosh style. Like it was like everything was just so good. And then in between songs, dead silence. Just dead silence. It'd be like crazy moshing. Song ends, like dead silence. And so whoever's talking on the mic, everyone's just like listening.
Whoa. And
the song starts again, and then it's just right back to chaos. Like it's a beautiful thing over there. It's whatever they have going on over there. I wish we had a little more of that here.
It's called respect.
Yeah, literally. I don't know. Like I've been to other countries where they're big on the respect thing, but it's more like, fuck you, we're this, you have to respect this. Mm-hmm. Japan was like, hey, we're just going to show you so much respect that you're probably going to like us and probably want to act accordingly. And like, truly, I mean, that's what happened.
That's crazy. I've been taking film studies like at school.
Hell yeah.
And one of like the main genre classes that I just took was heavy on like samurai film. Mm-hmm. After they started westernizing, like in the early 20th century or late 19th, early 20th century. But we learned a lot about like the culture of Japan from like the Shogun era all the way up to like modern day.
Dope.
And how that affects their film culture. And yeah, it's just like thinking of a culture that has lasted for thousands of years compared to like North America has only been around for like 300-ish years. It's just so interesting, like to interact with people, like to see those people combine and be like, why are y'all like this? And it's like, we've just been doing this for a while.
Yeah, maybe less tourists there.
So how'd you get into hardcore?
Yeah, man, I probably got into hardcore like a little later than most people. I moved around quite a bit when I was a kid. So I found like punk first when I was maybe, I don't even know, 13, 14, 15, something like that. Minor Threat, Bad Brains, Black Flag. And that was kind of just like random internet shit. You know, it wasn't, I don't have any like older siblings or anything. No one was like putting me on game. It was kind of just like the pipeline of like Tony Hawk into a new, like, I guess being a kid and having access to the internet. So I got into that, and then just like shitty metalcore around that same time. And I think maybe in high school is when I kind of found like Have Heart and Bane and things like that. And then after high school is when I moved to Connecticut, and that's when I like really started going to like real hardcore shows. But it was kind of just a perfect like meeting of those things. And that's how it all started, man. It's the beginning of the end right there.
Yeah, the beginning of the end is finding like local hardcore.
Yeah.
Your life is over.
Yeah, literally, that was it.
Because were you were in Pale Horse before, right?
I wasn't. No, I mean, when I moved to Connecticut, that's when I first like saw Pale Horse, and I was like, this is fucked. Fucked up. It was, I mean, that era of Connecticut right around the time I moved was amazing, man. It was, you know, Jagged Visions and Pale Horse, and obviously we still had like Death Threat. I think Hunter Demons was taking a break from playing around that time.
Death Threat was still playing?
Yeah.
What year was this?
This was like 2010, I think, is the year I moved there.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it was cool. We had all these VFWs out there. They all lasted about one show because I kept getting shut down. It was kind of that era, like still, there wasn't like camera phones really going like that hard. So craziness could happen and not be documented, and you know, things could keep it moving. But I mean, that was kind of the last era like of that. You know, there was like a VFW that was like a stronghold that would never close. I booked like a couple shows there too. You paid for it. You never got your security deposit back. The guy didn't give a fuck what happened in there. He just wanted his money. But it was like notorious. It's called Point Beach. And there was, I mean, fireworks at every show. Not a small room, man. Like maybe 100 cap if we're lucky. So there'd just be Roman candles getting lit off at each other the whole time. Doors would get chained shut so no one could leave. Lights would get cut. And I mean, it'd be packed out because that was like the spot, you know? Yeah, just absolute craziness in there all the time.
Imagine that's not making Hate 5-6, you know?
No. There's like enough things that happened there where, I mean, the cops would come all the time too, but I mean, Connecticut was just gnarly, man. It was such a, I mean, it still is, don't get me wrong, but that era was just so fucking gnarly, especially when we were, you know, younger. It was like cops, or like one time a SWAT team showed up. Like it was just always something.
I remember hearing stories because like this happened when I was younger, but like we used to have a venue in Savannah that had changed names like 17 times.
Yeah.
And apparently at one point, like, do you know who Paula Dean is?
Yeah.
So her restaurant was like across the street, like literally like the same block across the street. And they used to call the cops on that venue all the time. And at one point a SWAT team like went in and beat up a bunch of kids, and like nobody could see because they were like throwing smoke and shit for some reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that put an end to like our all ages scene for a very long time.
Damn.
But it's funny that y'all are just getting away with that shit, and Kaza gonna be like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, other VFWs kept getting shut down to the point where we basically ran through every single VFW, and the first thing they would ask, like, hey, I want to book, like a concert here, and they're like, is it a hardcore show? And you're like, and they're like, yeah, nah.
I feel like Bad Luck 13 really did a lot of damage to that area too.
I'm sure they were up there a bunch, man.
Like, me and my friend were recently talking because he was at the last Hellfest.
Oh shit, okay.
With the bleachers and the chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
So he was just like, man, I just remember when people were trying to do that shit up in Montreal as well. And I was like, people used to mosh like that in Montreal. But apparently it was everywhere.
Damn.
There's a story of like barbed wire being wrapped around the stage and then like throwing kids into it and like shit like that.
It's pretty badass.
Those dudes aren't really around anymore though.
Yeah. I mean, whenever people like ask me like what was Connecticut like then, like the first show I ever booked, like a gun just like fell out in the pit, and I was just like I mean, that was just like I said, like if you want like a short summation of like how fucking crazy shit was, like that was just, I was outside like whatever doing door, and someone's like, oh, a gun just fell out, and I was just like, all right, keep it moving, man. Like that's
put it back.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Put it back.
Yeah.
You lived in Connecticut and then moved to Brooklyn, like, I guess right before the pandemic, huh?
Yeah. I lived up in Mass for a little bit too, but yeah, I moved to New York right before the pandemic. Was like, this is the best place in the world. And then everything shut down. I was like, fuck, this is like the last place I would need to be right now. Cause I kind of moved there on a whim. I was kind of just like, fuck it. Like I want to move to New York. I think I posted like on my close friends or story or some shit, like who has a room, and I got a pretty cheap room there for like, I don't even know. It was like $800 or some shit.
Damn, that's pretty cheap for New York.
Yeah, except I had 5 other roommates, I think, or some shit. And also during that time, like I was in the hood too, so it wasn't like I was like, yeah, fuck it, like I'll move here, and then I like hit up my friends. I'm like, yo, I'm moving to New York. They're like, where? And then I told them, and they're like, probably shouldn't move there. I was like, motherfucker. But whatever. That's like where I stayed.
That sometimes makes for good stories, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I definitely got some good ones at that time, and my neighbors were dope. I became close with like everybody. They definitely like looked out for me for sure. So I had a good time there. The roommate situation didn't last very long. That's like when I was like, yo, Harold, like, what's good? Like,
you got space?
Yeah, everyone in that many people in like one apartment. A couple of them were they were opera singers. That was like their profession. And I didn't know really any of these people before I moved in. Mm-hmm. And so they had to like practice. And I'm like trying to hold down my remote job that is I'm definitely about to lose. And they're like practicing all day or not working at all, which is like cool, whatever. But yeah, I couldn't last.
I mean, that shit's loud, and I'm sure the walls are not thick.
No, dude, they were just throwing that shit up, man. That was just pieces of paper, man.
No insulation, nothing.
Yeah, nah.
Well, I mean, so were you playing in any bands like in the Connecticut area before you moved?
I was nothing like anyone would know or remember or anything like that. I was in this band Atonement for like a second, but that's then TJ and I split off and did this straight edge band called Reign of Salvation for a little bit. Pretty much that entire band went on to do Koyo.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool time though. It was just like they're doing that thing. I went and did Pain, and like I said, like from the jump, we were like all just doing cool shit. And then yeah, I didn't join Pale Horse until maybe like a year ago.
Okay.
But for me, that was like the coolest thing in the world. Like playing with a band like that I grew up seeing and was and still is like a huge Pale Horse fan. So that was like kind of like a cool full circle for me. So yeah, that's what I still have in the bio right now is Pain of Truth, Reign of Salvation, and Pale Horse. But I doubt Reign of Salvation will like ever play again. Maybe one day. Maybe
like
if anyone cares.
I liked Reign of Salvation.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, well, because it was like I like Sal's drumming.
Oh, respect, man. Yeah, he's a freak drummer for sure.
Which him like playing, it's funny because when Koyo came out, I was like, oh damn, he's really just playing those parts.
Yeah,
in an emo band.
Yes, he really is.
But yeah, I love whenever Koyo like started, I was like, oh, these are just a bunch of hardcore dudes. And then when I talked to Harold, it was like right after the EP came out. And then he was like, yeah, I just want to be in Pain of Truth. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
That's so funny, man.
It was like the EPs dropped basically almost at the same time, I think.
Yeah. That was cool. It was like a special like moment in time, I feel like, because like I said, we lived together, so we like every day it would be like, yo, we're dropping this on this day, and then it would like come out and like the reception would be awesome. I'd be like, what the fuck, that's awesome. Same thing with us, yo, we're dropping this EP. And then I think Koyo went out for the first tour post COVID, and when Harold came back, I was like, how was it? He's like, dude, the water's warm, you got to get out there, like things are like happening. So then we went out, like Pain of Truth went out and like had a similar, like, it's cool, it was just all happening at the same time, and like you just saw your friends killing it. I don't know. I guess it's still kind of happening today on like a larger scale, but then it was just so pure. Because before that, Reign of Salvation did little things. Obviously, Harold was in Hangman. They were doing cool shit, but like there was just places I played on tour that I have played like the worst shows of my life in those cities. Like there was one, Summer of Fear. I think it was the first tour I ever did with another band. And we played, I want to say it was like Toledo, Ohio or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And it was the first day of tour. We drove all the way out New York to Toledo, Ohio to start this run, and 6 people showed up. And 6 people left after the opening band. So we were just playing to each other. Yeah.
Was that like Ottawa Tavern or whatever?
No, dude, because then here's like the flip side. This was the post-COVID. Then Pain of Truth went out on our first run. Ottawa Tavern, Monday night. It's raining. And I was like in the van telling these guys, I was like, yo, just like set expectations. Like, I don't know how this shit's going to go. Like last time I played here was kind of rough. And this was whatever, like right before COVID. And then this was the first tour after COVID. And it was like flooded out, sold out Monday night in the rain, and like still to this day like one of my favorite shows just because of that, like the switch of a bunch of people finding hardcore during COVID and a bunch of people missed going to shows. So it's cool, man. It's cool that like where hardcore's at right now, and seeing the before and after is just rewarding in itself.
Yeah, I can remember when I moved to Montreal, it was like 2018. And even just trying to find shows was so hard because of the language barrier, obviously. And then like I remember like Vatican came through with Hell of Self and Typecast.
Bro, that was the tour I was just talking about.
Oh, really?
Were you at that show?
In Montreal, I was.
Yeah, that was a couple days before it was at Toledo show. That was the run.
Oh shit, dude, that's crazy.
I was playing in Hell of Self at the time, which did not.
Okay. Yeah, they're not. And but like I remember going to that show and it was like 50 maybe people in a 300 cab venue. Yeah,
I tried to put that one out of my memory.
But it was because I hadn't seen Vatican in like 3 or 4 years at that point.
Yeah,
and that was right before COVID. That was 2019.
Yep.
Because the last show I saw was Jesus Piece at that same venue. Was Jesus Piece and Fuming Mouth.
That's dope. That era was a good era too.
That was sick.
Yeah.
That was like before they had just released the LP, but I think my favorite thing is still the EP. That Oppressor EP is so good.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's it is crazy now. Like going to a show, even like a locals only show in Montreal, and seeing how many people were there. And I was like, dude, like I remember going to big shows in Montreal before, and it was not this many people.
Yeah, no, not at all, man. Not at all.
Were you always a bassist?
Yeah, I this is like kind of how it went. We kind of talked about it a little bit before the call, but I just had like, a couple of music blogs when I was like younger, like right when I moved to Connecticut, and there was like this group of guys that were a little bit younger than me at the time, and they were like, "Yo, we can teach you how to play bass if you can get us on shows." And I was like, "Yo, I'm down." I just wanted to be in a band so bad. So that's like how I learned how to play bass. I was probably, I don't even know, 22, 23, something like that. So it wasn't like I was like 16, in love with playing bass. It was just kind of like, here, like,
I'll do it, I guess.
It's literally just the friend's instrument, right? It's kind of like, fuck, all right, we want Zach to be in the band, but like, what the fuck's he gonna do? And so yeah, then that was that band Atonement, and then I went and did like Hell of Self and Inner Salvation, and then yeah, when Mike Smith hit me up for Pot, it was, I might have told the story before, but it's just kind of funny because it's not like we were super close or anything. We knew each other, we played shows, and he hit me up and was just like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. We're probably gonna play a few shows. Do you want to play bass?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." It was COVID. It was like literally COVID, right. And I don't even know if I'd seen him in a couple of years. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down, man. Yo, why me? Like, why'd you pick me of like all the people?" And he's like, "You only play bass. You're from Connecticut, and you love Death Threat." And I was like, "All of that is accurate. Like, I'm down. Let's run it."
Dude, sometimes that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
From Connecticut, love Death Threat.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I remember listening to the Garza episode a while back.
Yeah.
And them being like, I think it was Michael and Nick knew each other, and that was it.
Yeah. And like, we kind of all circled the same groups and played shows together, but it's not like we like hung out every day, which I also maybe is why it works, because this is still getting to know each other years later, still been all over the world together, but still like it's cool. We kind of built everything like fresh,
Yeah, I think it is like when you're, I wouldn't say forced, but like you're kind of like pushed to be in like you're building the relationship. There's no pre-existing expectation for like, oh, like me and this dude are best friends, but then you realize that when you have to like live together in a tight space, that every a little annoyance in the background just comes out.
Right.
So, well, yeah, but I'm happy that you guys are still cordial.
Yeah. Oh, dude. We all operate, we figure out how it works for each of us, what each of us needs at this point. It's a machine.
You're straight edge?
I'm straight edge, yeah.
And I'm sure that the no drinking thing has helped like on that side as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The early tours were like a little crazy. I was on band dad mode.
Yeah.
And we were all working at the same time. So like I was, we'd get out of a venue. It'd be like 4 a.m. and I'm like, "Yo, gotta get in the van." No, you're no fun. I'm like, "Yo, we have a 9-hour drive. I'm going to be doing the 9-hour drive. Get in the van." But dude, that was only like the first year, man. Literally everyone in Pain of Truth is sober, man. Like everyone smokes, but nobody drinks anymore. And that's awesome. I mean, I think that's probably why we're able to like tour as heavy and keep it going as much as we can on the road.
Drinking, like I don't drink a lot. Like I wouldn't say that I go overboard, but when you're on the road, it's fun and it's kind of like vacation. So maybe you drink a little more. You have some bad influences in the band with you. And so it is, I can tell that when I don't drink, when we're out, I feel so much better, but you've still got that little, like, that devil. It's like the intrusive thought. It's like, I could drink 6 shots.
Yeah, we definitely have some good stories from that era, but like for as much as we're gone, it's like show's over, get in the van, back to like the hotel or whatever, forensic files on, alarm set for 9 a.m. It's like we're so regimented now. It's so nice, man. It's like, take care of our bodies and, you know, try to eat good. And it's a different beast at this point.
It's true. I started doing this last run I did. I've had a flare up with like sciatica or some shit.
Oh shit.
And so I've, on my own at home, I've started doing like yoga, stretching every day.
Yep.
Doing like nervous system resets.
Oh, what's that?
It's kind of like you follow yoga, but it's more like you kind of lay on your back and do a lot of breathing.
Okay.
Almost like meditation, but guided. And like it's helped so much, like my neck and back stuff. So I started doing that like on this past run just to see if it was something I could fit. And huge difference.
Damn, you got to put me on game, bro. I've never even heard of that.
It's like, I'll send you, it's some dude, his name's Yoga with Tim on YouTube.
Okay.
I just follow his shit because he's got like a really calm voice. Sometimes he's on the beach, you know, doing yoga in the waves.
Yeah.
Super relaxing. So I started doing some of that, and my bandmates were clowning on me. I'm like, y'all clown on me until, you know, your disc slips out of place and you're all fucked up, and you're going to be doing yoga with me in the morning.
Yo, I swear everybody I know currently who's been like a road dog for like 20 years or something, like those kind of guys we've been on tour with, they bring the yoga mats out, man. It could be the scariest motherfucker you've ever seen, but they got the yoga mats, man.
Doesn't Nick has like a 45-minute stretching routine or some shit?
Dude, yeah, he's the killer guy is heavy into stretching. We kind of like last run, man. We've kind of all figured out what each other like needs. Like Nick Barker, our drummer, him and I will go to the gym and he'll get his cardio in. You know, I'll like lift or whatever. I just gotta not even like it just like clears my head more than anything. I'm like I have to go here. It's not for like. I just need to go and it'll reset my brain and chill me out, you know? So I feel like everyone kind of found their thing that helps.
Would you say that that's like out of all the things that you kind of need on tour, like what would be like the biggest necessity? Would it be like a workout or?
Yeah, I think so. I think, one of my friends recently, he went on his first tour and he was filling in for a different band. So he didn't really know the guys. It was like a bigger like rock band, right? So he's like, hey, like I'm kind of nervous, like what do I need to do? And I was like, honestly, whatever you can do to like keep yourself sane, not snap, like it's tough out there. I was like, for me, sometimes I just need time alone. Like I got to get dinner alone. Go sit up somewhere, get some ramen or something like that, post up, go to the gym. If I can get in and like train Muay Thai somewhere, that's awesome. Caffeine is a huge one. You got to be caffeinated.
Got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like feeling like I'm like progressing in other areas, right? You know, you gotta keep it moving somewhere.
It's that like, because it's so unpredictable, I guess.
Yeah.
Like every day is very different. If you don't have routine, then you get fucked up.
Exactly. Yeah.
'Cause it just starts to slip, like, and then your like mental health just like goes.
Dude, exactly, man. I'm not like some like gym bro. I'm literally like just like, hey, I have to do this thing. It could be anything, but at least it's that. I was like, I gotta do this thing so that I feel normal. It's just that.
Man. But we got some newish music, new tour coming tomorrow, this episode will be out a week from today. So y'all will be in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Coast to coast.
Coast to coast, man.
But the split's been out for I think about 2 months now.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Really great tracks. Who did I text? I texted my friend the other day because I was listening to it again, like prepping for this and being like, dude, Hatebreed, big influence.
That's awesome, bro. I love hearing that, man.
It's the structure of the tracks I find is like very like Hatebreed, which is cool. Yeah. I love Hatebreed.
I mean, that is like, you know, one of the blueprints, right? Like, yeah. I think one of the first practices we ever had, Kill has a tattoo that says Proven, and I have like a CTHC Hatebreed tattoo. And we're both just like, Hell yeah.
The
That's cool.
Spider-Man meme. Where
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Damn. I really appreciate that. It's definitely, one of my favorite hardcore bands. And you're right. Like, we love Hatebreed.
Who doesn't love Hatebreed? If you play hardcore and you don't love Hatebreed, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. That's
weird.
definitely sus. That's definitely something. I don't know if I can get.
Not OS.
No, not OS at all.
But how was the writing process compared to doing like the LP, which in hardcore an LP is like 30-ish minutes if you're
Sure.
lucky, like 10 songs. But like how is the writing process compared to doing like another like a split like 2 or 3 songs?
Yeah, we write. I've never been in a band like this. Also, I don't do any of the writing, transparently. So, but our writing process is like the most natural thing I've ever seen. Like those songs came together because it's just like we'll be on the road. We'll kind of finish with the sound check and kind of fuck around, and someone will play a riff or be like, "Hey, I think I have like this whole song done. I just need this breakdown," something like that. So those songs were done in a process like that, where we'd all kind of heard the framework of them for 6 months or a year and a half, something like that. And then they just got flushed out in the studio. I think Killa wrote both of those songs. We never really hear Mike's vocals until the song comes together. And I literally don't think once ever Mike has sent us the lyrics and we've been like, yo, change this. Like, he's just so fucking gifted with, I mean, he writes songs too.
Yeah.
But lyrically, he's just the man. Killa's the man.
Riffs.
Riffs, bro. Riffs.
Also, yeah, I love Michael's like spitting style. It's so like it just carries on the legacy of that like Long Island, New York style. Like, because I was a huge Backtrack fan.
Same, man. Yeah. And he listens to like a lot of like Mobb Deep and just like a lot of like that boom bap era hip hop.
Yeah.
So I hear people say like talk about that crossover, but truly like when we're in the studio and laying down like guitars and bass and drums, he's usually like writing lyrics, but also that's what he's listening to while he's writing them. So like that's how he gets that flow. And it's cool because I don't think he's really like biting really heavy on like the hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
he's not like trying to do a hip hop thing, but he's like there's a cadence to it that it's like if you look a little bit deeper, you're like, okay, I can see like what his influences are.
Right. I mean, as somebody who like has to write vocal parts, it is very much like, because I've done like hip hop production and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is very much like on the hip hop side. Like I can see that influence, the rhythms and everything. But then at the same time, yeah, he's got that like that break in his voice where it's very much a hardcore sound.
Yeah.
But not rapcore.
No.
Not that rapcore is bad. I'm not gonna.
No, but you're right. I mean, that's like the balance,
Yeah. What's the city that you're most looking forward to play this run?
This run, I mean, Long Island, man, is not a city, also, but
it's a country, I think.
Yeah, we're playing the Paramount in Long Island, which is like pretty iconic venue, especially to the guys. Like, I didn't grow up here, so to me, I'm like, that's cool. It's a big show, but to those guys, like, it means a lot. We're filming the whole set, so that'll be, I think, maybe we're gonna put it out. So that's like something that'll be cool, something to take with us and like have. So I'm excited for that. We play Connecticut too. We play Norwalk, and every time I play Connecticut, I'm hyped. We got a lot of friends coming out. So
straight up, that young scene they've got too. They got a lot of young people out there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out Lumpy. Shout out Senti. Shout out Balmora. It's cool, man. It's like, I remember the first time I went back there after COVID, and obviously I hadn't lived there for a little bit, but I was like, man, I don't really recognize anybody. And it was cool because for me, I was like, oh, when I would live there, it was the same, the same people, which is also cool in its own regard. But there was like a gap of new people coming around. what I heard was that it got really scary and new kids didn't like it. But I don't know. It's on its own thing right now, and I love that.
I remember Lumpy saying that it was like, he's like, there's all these new little bands, well, not little, but there's all these new bands where it's just like young kids, like just throwing shows up everywhere.
That's what I loved about it, man. Like I was kind of like hearing about it from the outside. I met Senti when we were up there for something, and it was cool because they're just like kind of the way he moved and the way he operated, where he was like, hey, I got new bands, I'm booking these shows, but still being like tapped in with the older heads and like going about it the right way, and not just like, I don't know, creating its own scene and having it being something separate, like able to do his own thing creatively while still be like, you know, Connecticut hardcore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't been to Connecticut, but Western Mass.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Wild place.
Yeah. Yes, man. That was a trifecta for years, man. You could do a quick weekend, Western Mass, Connecticut, Hudson Valley. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my friends still to this day are from like that era of time. And you would go to all three shows, whether you're playing them or not. It's I think, did Tommy book that show?
No, because we played Ralph's the first time, and I don't remember exactly who booked it. The second time we went, we played the Hoff with it was Josh and Zach. I think it was Zach. Josh and Zach booked it. Tommy was like involved, and I think Keith was also involved. But yeah, it was cool. The Hoff, we played with a bunch of metalcore bands.
Yeah, baby. Which
scary mosh. Also, if that venue is scary, like it's not it's a little scary.
I love it, man.
As an adult, if there's a fire.
Oh yeah,
I was just dying
like, yo, you got health insurance in Canada, bro. You're straight.
Yeah, I'm fine. Actually, first time we played Western Mass, homie fucking one dude moshing, for some reason was able to go from the middle of the pit. I'm the only one standing where in the vicinity of where I'm standing, straight up kicked me in the ribs and fractured my rib literally the set before we played.
Bro, as a vocalist, like what do you even do, man?
It hurt. It's gotta happen, but it hurt. Fuck.
Yeah.
And it was during Upon Broken Apologies was playing. So that shit was cool and also sucked.
Yeah.
You also be booking shows or booking for bands.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was kind of a thing Mike and I tapped in on when there's like a little gap when we weren't touring. I think there was like a year people were like, you're gone all the time. You're always on tour. And there was a year straight where we didn't like tour. We'd go out and do a couple weeks, come home, go out and do a couple weeks, come home, you know, like do weekend shit. But during that time, we had a lot of friends who were just like, hey, who can book here? Hey, who can book here? And they were just like asking us for a lot of help. And we were just like, man, why don't we just book these tours for you? Like we have these, you know, we know these people, it just might make it easier if we just do it. So that's kind of how that ended up happening. It was more of, I don't know, kind of got thrown like literally just in our laps of like, all right, why don't we just try to help the homies out a little bit?
I feel like that's such a thing that y'all talk about is like it's step by step and it's kind of like as needed. So even with Pain of Truth, it's like we just put out the EP and then we would just say yes to shit and then it just keeps coming.
That, literally, man. Like I said at beginning of this episode or whatever, it was my pitch was, hey, we're gonna open a couple shows on Long Island because there's not really any opening bands right now coming out of COVID. And then it turned into like literally all of our lives. So it's cool, man. It's kind of like you said, like step by step. This was never the goal. Mm-hmm. So to be here, you know, it makes it fun because it's always, we're still like so grateful, still thankful for everything. It was never, yeah, we should be doing this. Yeah, we should be here in a couple of years. Then we're going to do the LP. It was just, every opportunity we get, we're still just like, well, pretty much every tour, we're just like, how did we get here, man? Like, nothing was expected.
It's like that movie Yes Man, like with Jim
Yeah.
Carrey. You just
Yep.
say yes.
Yeah.
Lumpy's like, put it out. Put it out. So, yeah, it's cool to see like how far in like 3 years basically. Because 2021, so like 4 years. How it's, I mean, the scale is crazy.
It's bizarre. I mean, we just, like I said, we just did RBS Fest, and I don't know if it was like in my archive or whatever, but there was a picture of us at the 420 house. That was like Dirt's old spot. Picture of all of us outside. It was our first time in the Bay, and it was almost like 3 years between that and this. And that's what's been so cool is like those friends along the way, like Sunami is some of like our best friends. I only knew Theo because Theo lived in Connecticut for a little bit of time, and I knew he did this new band called Sunami. And we had our like record release show, and Lumpy was like, hey, we should get Sunami on here, and we are like, yeah, sure, man, like that'd be cool. And there was like some talk of like we should do a split one day. Like I think that conversation Mike had was before that show even. It was like once they got added, it was like, yo, we should do a split. So now 3 years later, we've done shows in Japan, shows in Colombia with them, shows in all over Europe with them, done shows in the US with them. It's like it's kind of like our brother band, right? On the other coast to coast, right? So
whoa. No, I'm just kidding.
That's where it comes from. I don't know. It's just it's cool that, you know, in 3 years, all the stuff we've kind of done in parallel to each other, and now we get to go run this tour together, and it will be some of our, like, I think literally our biggest headliners ever, and we get to do it with them, and they get to do it with us. It's cool.
So much respect. I love like any interviews that I hear from anyone in Pain of Truth. It's super humble, which is sick.
I appreciate that, man.
So yeah, man, I can't wait to see what's next. Hatebreed. No, I'm just kidding. I will say I have a bone to pick. There's no headliner in Montreal. Even though I know y'all just came with Counterparts, that's fine.
True. Canada's a hard time with us, you know.
What do you mean?
The border does not love Pain of Truth. So
explain, because I find that y'all are pretty above board with a lot of shit, I find.
Yeah, I mean, it's just every time we go through, we get stopped for something, get pulled out. So it's tough to book like a one-off up there because we don't want to miss the show.
Right.
And then, I don't know. I mean, we'll definitely get back up there. That was our first time playing Canada outside of like a fest. So we really, I don't know. We have to make it a couple shows at least, just in case. Maybe we need to start leaving like a day or two earlier. But on a tour, sometimes it just gets hard because it's like, if we get held up, then we miss the show. Everyone's mad at us. We're mad. Like the last time we were there, I mean, for those shows at Toronto and Montreal, we were held for like 6 hours.
Are you kidding?
No.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So I don't know. We like Canada. We want to get back up there. We love the shows up there. We love the people up there. It's just something about the border doesn't love us.
Man, don't tell me that because I'm paranoid.
Yeah, so we'll get up there. We'll get up there eventually, man.
Last time, so Combust came with Bane and Stick to Your Guns, and I was doing the PM for that show. I was working for the promoter, and like bands are sound checking, like everybody's loaded in. Bands are like, I think Stick to Your Guns sound checked or something, and I'm like, yo, where's Combust? And so I'm like trying to get in touch with them. Andrew's like, yeah, so like they've ripped our fucking van apart at the border. I don't know when we're gonna be there. And I was like, okay, well, good to know that y'all are at least an hour away at the border.
True, yeah.
So I think they were able to load in like by doors.
Oh shit! So they made it just in time.
They barely made it, and there was like a local opener. I think it was Will to Speak.
Okay.
So they like got all their shit in, got merch up like right as doors were opening. I was like, damn, I'm happy to see y'all, man.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe they just don't like bands from New York. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's the thing, man.
What's up, Canada?
I don't know. I don't know.
Y'all are scary looking. Like, y'all have the accents. Like, maybe that's what it is.
Dude, I still get pulled that Hell of Self tour that we were talking about, the Summer of Fear tour. We had like, I think we had like our visas or whatever. We had our paperwork. Like we were straight, which is crazy because like for what? You know what I'm saying? Like it was our first tour I think we ever did, but we didn't tell them how much merch we sold, which probably was like 3 shirts if we're like, that's being generous. And so on our way out, they asked us about our merch being sold, and they didn't like the response the guy gave, so they made us pull over. And same thing, searched everything. But now every time I go to Canada, I get pulled out, and they're like, "Are you playing in a band?"
Oh, they flagged your fucking passport, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah. So when we, I don't know, did a fest or something, I got pulled for that.
Culture Ground.
Yeah.
In Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's always, I don't know, it's always some bullshit.
It's fine, dude. Jamie from Death Threat couldn't come in for like years until this past December. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll go away one day.
I don't know why that's like, I mean, we can go to Europe and Japan and Australia, like pretty easy, you know, pretty easy. And then it's like, just to get to Canada, it's like always, why is it the hardest border?
It's fucked up because like, I think to get your passport unflagged, you would have to hire like an immigration lawyer to figure out why. And then you have to file a paper, like an appeal to be like, hey, like I'm not part of that organization anymore. Can we fix this?
Yeah, seems like it's something with more brain power than like a hardcore band could manage.
Can tackle that.
to do all that.
Dude, that's why it's crazy because all the Canadian bands have to do like work visas to play the U.S.
Yeah.
And I'm stupid. Everyone in my band is stupid. But we're required to do legal documents to send to the U.S. immigration to let us come and play for, 50 people in Western Mass. Like,
yeah,
what's that? That's crazy.
Yeah. That was my thing too, is like, even if I just go to Toronto, like to visit or something, they're pulling me. And then like last time they were like, are you here with, and they just listed every band I was ever in. And I was like, no. And then they just turned the screen so I could see, and it literally just looked like an Instagram account of like pictures of me and flyers I was on and like shit like that. And they're like, none of this, you're not doing any of this? I'm like, no. So it's just, I don't know what's good. They want their money, man. They want their whatever. They're still chasing the tax from those 3 shirts. Like,
just ask if you can give it to them. Just be like, can I give you like $30? Because that's how much a shirt costs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like all the cross-border shit. It stresses me out. Even though I'm American, and it's still, and I have PR here, but it still stresses me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully one day we don't have to go through that shit. But yeah, I'd love to see a Pain of Truth headliner in Montreal. It was supposed to happen. There was rumor of it happening like 2 years ago, but I don't think anything came of it.
Yeah, we got to get up there for like more than a couple days, and just so we can make sure we get there on time, you know?
Yeah. Like, I know some guys that come a day early just to make sure they don't get hassled.
Yeah, that might have to be the move.
But then there's you got to pay extra money for staying somewhere and shit. So.
Yeah.
Good coffee, though. Good food, good coffee.
Yeah, you got to put me on, bro. The last time we went up there on that Counterparts tour, obviously we didn't have a lot of time there because of getting held at the border and shit. So I just feel, maybe it's just me, but I feel pretty like, I apparently just don't know what the weather situation is anywhere. So like, I think that run, I mean, it was 6 weeks. So we hit like Texas where it's 100 degrees. Mm-hmm. But then when we got to Canada, it was like -7. So packing, I was just like, why did I only bring a hoodie on this entire tour? Like, what am I even doing?
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, I gotta prep better for all climates.
You just gotta get that Carhartt, like the blanket lined one or whatever.
Yeah.
So that it packs a little bit easier, but then you just throw it on a hoodie and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Zach, I really appreciate you hanging out on this episode.
Hey, thanks so much, man. Thanks for having me.
Really excited for you guys. Excited to see some photos and videos from that tour, because obviously won't be out of date. No Canada dates. So
we'll be back, bro. Don't worry.
We'll say it one more time. But before I go, just let me know, what's your favorite city for Beans and Breakdowns?
Oh, man. I mean, New York City, bro. Best country in the world.
Every New Yorker. Every single time. I mean, I can't disagree. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good coffee. Yeah. Shout out La Cabra, Say, Dayglow, Devoción.
Yo, I'll even shout out Variety, man. That was my go-to.
Variety.
There'll be a lot of haters. But I like it. It's open late, so I get to go post up there, hang out with my friends. You know, it's a good spot.
I like a late night coffee joint.
Not enough. There's not enough of them.
There aren't. Y'all be closing at 4 and 5. I'm not even off work.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to get over there?
Yeah.
There's an Italian joint here. It does like classic. It's not cool coffee at all, but they're open till 11.
I like that.
That's cool.
I like
and they play every soccer match.
That city is so big, but the first time I was there, we definitely were in the Italian section. Is that right? Is there like an Italian section of Montreal?
Yeah, because y'all played Bar Loritz. Yeah, it's right at the top of Little Italy.
Yeah, dude. And so we went in there and it was espresso only.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good memory. It was like, that's when the first time I was like, I feel like I'm in Europe, and I like hadn't even been yet. I had no idea what Europe was like. I was just like, yeah, this is just like it.
It is similar, honestly. Like in North America, it's probably the most European city you'll find.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, take it easy. Be safe on this tour.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Zach for hanging out on this episode. Be sure to check out the Coast to Coast split with Sunami and Pain of Truth. 4 awesome tracks. And if you're anywhere near a tour date coming up, be sure to check that out. It's going to be sick, and I'm very jealous. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns, or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.